Welcome to Retro Box Breaks. This is a channel where we open up baseball card boxes from the 80s and 90s. And this is the Chasing Reggie series, in which we are opening 1990 Upper Deck High Series boxes. Looking for that Reggie Jackson. So let's just get right into it here. So this will be the fifth box out of the case. If you're tuning in just now, if this is your first one, just to let you know the odds of getting this Reggie Jackson is about 1 in a million. Those aren't the stated odds, but extremely long odds on this one. So we're also looking for fun stuff like Sammy Sosa, King Griffey Jr. There's a bunch of errors in here. One box we did hit on one particular type of error that I thought was pretty fun. That's the no copyright error. We had a box of those. I had a bunch of them in there. The big hit there is the King Griffey Jr. Didn't get that one, but got some interesting ones. Mark McGuire and a couple other guys. So let's just get right into this. I don't know that I've seen one of the big errors in here. Billy Ripken. Mark Witt. Or Mike Witt. One of the two. Literally looked at it just a few minutes ago. But while I was looking at it, what I noticed is there's quite a few errors in here outside of the ones that I originally knew. One that we did hit on is the Nolan Ryan one. There's Will Clark. So I didn't dig real deep into the other errors. Most of them were like, the wrong thing printed on the back, a misspelling or something like that. There's one guy where his name was printed incorrectly on the front of the card. I don't remember what the guy's name was now. But Jose Uribe. Yep. The big thing is going to be kind of keeping an eye out for those no copyrights. The weird thing is only one box so far has had it. So I don't know if... Oh, look at that. Right there. Holy moly. This is exciting. Okay. So I'm going to close up on this thing. There we go. All right. So copyright, no copyright. This is awesome. Be able to catch this on camera. And hopefully, if we can get a King Griffey Jr. out of here, I might actually, well, if you get a PSA 10, well, it's not worth it right now, but if you get a King Griffey Jr., they're selling pretty good raw. If you have a PSA 10, they're selling for a lot more, but obviously right now PSA charging $300 a grade, so that kind of cuts into the profitability of getting it graded pretty significantly. I think they sell for like $500, something like that. All right, so looking for no copyright here. Look at that. So this is what I found in the last box is generally there's like two or three of them together. I guess it's just the way they collate the sheets. Man, how awesome is this? Those probably aren't together because I fiddled with the cards there. All right, so 4 no copyright cards. Nobody crazy exciting yet, but you never know. Let's see, some of the ones, Mark McGuire and Bo Jackson are a couple of them that I got last time. I don't know, the way people are collecting Bo Jackson, that Bo Jackson might be a little bit of a big deal. Obviously, King Griffey Jr. is the big one there, so... Tommy Glavine. Fred McGriff. He's one of them. I'll go back through after I flip them all around here. Nolan Ryan. Love that card. I'm going to pull out the Roger Clemens just because I like it. There's our 2. Man, this is awesome. So if we get 2 per pack, that's like 70 of these bad boys. I didn't count how many were how many different errors there were. But I don't know. Maybe we got a shot here, obviously, at a King Griffey Jr., but he's going to be the big one. I'm about to jump out of my skin here, partly because I'm excited about this and partly because I'm on my second espresso coffee. Top tip, if you buy an espresso machine, be careful. It's kind of like having a kegerator for beer. If you have it, you'll use it. Alright, so doesn't look like anybody exciting out of this one. John Holrood, rookie checklist. I remember having a few of those John Holroods. God, that dude almost looks like Cal Ripken Jr. Almost. Alright, so there they are. I wonder how many cards are on a sheet. I guess the question is, you know, you open the first pack and you verify that the box has the error cards in it. I wonder what the packs are worth. I don't know. I guess comment put something in the comments if you think the packs are worth some money. Honestly, probably wouldn't be worth it to sell them unless somebody was willing to pay like $10 a piece for them, which, if I'm being honest, I don't know if they're worth it. Because 99% of the time you're going to get people who are... There's David Justice rookie card. Pull that one out. Will Clark again. Oh, I'm so focused on the the error cards. The reason we are here is Reggie Jackson. There he is. Oh, what's the number on that one? 4. I don't think we're going to be getting... I wonder if this Will Clark has an error. You know, I should have kept that up. So there's our 2. Again, not real exciting players. They are in a later part of the pack, which is interesting. I wonder if they move through the pack as the... Man, I really wish I hadn't opened this case previously. I had opened the case and pulled all the boxes out in order to create the original picture for the top of the YouTube channel. And yeah, so they're not in order. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to determine Julio Franco on the error. Candy Maldonado maybe is the other one. We'll see as we go through. Dave Hollins, John Franco. Man, how awesome is this? Julio Franco, Candy Maldonado. Okay. All right. So we're stacking up a bunch of error cards here. Man. Oh, put those on upside down. At some point, I'm going to have to go through just off camera here. I have 4 huge stacks of these cards. I've just been stacking them up. I need to get to the card store to get me a, like, 6,000 count box or whatever it is. Those massive boxes you can stick cards in. Alright. Come on, King Griffey Jr. Kevin Napier looks like probably that Reds player, I think it was Cal Ripken Jr. There we go. That's a nice picture on a card, I guess. Definitely does have the copyright. It's not in the right slot. We'll pull him out. No copyrights here. Yep. Tim Burtress. Burtsis. Huh. Reds player. All right. Yeah, so there's quite a few. There's probably 100 or 50 to 150, somewhere in there, of these cards that are no copyright. I don't think it's the whole set. Might be 1 or 2 sheets or something like that. Just based on the number of pages that listed them. Kevin Mitchell, Ken Caminiti. I bet he is one of them that I know that has it. Partly because we got him before and because I saw him on the list. Jose Offerman. And of course, number 4, Reggie Jackson. So, there we go. Got our Kevin Mitchell, Ken Caminiti. Again, I wonder if this bodes well for the Reggie Jackson signature. I kind of feel like it probably doesn't. I feel like this is probably towards the end of the prem run when they're getting sloppy. Could be the beginning, though, before they get into their groove. You never know. Eric Davis. There you go, Reds fans. I don't know how many Reds fans actually watch this. Bob Hamlin. There's a really great video. What's SB Nation, I think, is the guy on YouTube that made a video about Bob Hamlin. Like he's the worst photograph in all of baseball or something like that. But it's actually a really good video about bobs in sports and how there's becoming less and less of them. It's actually pretty interesting. I mean, obviously there's no direct link between the number of bobs and anything in particular in sports, but why is that upside down? There's still a bunch of interesting statistics around it, so I definitely got hooked into watching their videos for quite a while. That's how YouTube works. They keep giving you what you want to watch. All right. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, since there's plenty of time here to talk, is one thing that I've kind of been interested in is the Topps Archives signature retired players. I'm thinking about possibly getting some and opening them on the channel for a couple of reasons. One is, you know, there's only so many boxes of cards you can open from the 80s and 90s, and Barry Bonds. The ones that are in the price range that I'm willing to pay are becoming less and less. Also, I think probably it doesn't make sense to have 40-minute videos. I think that's probably, most people aren't wanting to sit down and watch a 40-minute video, which is kind of what these turn out to be, where I open a whole box with 36 packs. So I'm thinking, you know, go with the retired stuff. It's not all going to be in that range, but, you know, some of them will be. Be players that we remember. sometimes. There's a lot of people who've retired since the 80s and 90s, but Dale Murphy, Mark Grace, there we go. That's probably not a bad one on the error. So anyways, I'm thinking about doing that. If you care one way or the other, put something in the comments there. One thing I do find interesting, and just as a more generalized topic, is that it seems to me that the baseball card companies generally are continuing to rely on the star power of the players from the 80s and 90s. I find that to be really interesting. And to me, it kind of highlights where we are in the industry right now, in the hobby. And that is that right now, the hobby is made up of mostly a bunch of people who are coming back or have stayed all the way through from the 80s and 90s. And so they have that nostalgia of those players. And so they continue to have cachet, or, people are still finding them to be desirable. So, oh, look at that. Another Nolan Ryan. Sweet. So I don't know what that necessarily means long term for the hobby. I mean, for me, it seems that so who'd we get here? Dwight Evans and George Bell. For me, it means that it's still the same people from the 80s and 90s buying. There's two things in that. One, there's good and bad, I should say. The bad is that at some point that generation is going to get old enough to where they're going to stop buying, and they're going to want to start to sell. And when that happens, you're going to see a fairly large reversal in prices and a fairly it basically what will happen is the cards will go to what their true value will be over the very long term, the next 70 years or 100 years or whatever. But before that, the good news is that, people who remember the 80s and 90s from being a kid, they got, 20 years left of buying, and they're in their prime earning years. So, you probably got, Larry Walker. I don't know if he's one of the ones that is in this card the cut on this looks weird. I don't know, maybe just because it's a little off center. Anyways, we got 20 years to go, and I really think, although there are going to be ups and downs, I think basically, oh, look at that. Only one error card. Oh, no, that's weird. I think that's the first time I've seen that where they're interlaced. Huh. The people who are buying these cards are in their prime earning years, their 40s, 50s, 60s, early 60s, they've either hit some type of professional level in their career and they're making good money, or, they've hopefully made good financial decisions over the course of their life, and they're a little bit older and they have some money to spend. And so I think for the next 20 years, we're going to see baseball cards, especially from the 80s and 90s, continue to move higher. Now, some of those, the question is, how much are they going to move higher? They get, is the 1990 score Bo Jackson PSA 10 that's selling for like $300 now, which is totally bonkers. There's 1,800 of those things, people. Come on. Anyways, is that going to go to $3,000? I don't think so. But could it go to 500, 600, 700? Yeah, sure. Definitely it can. There we go, number 4 again. It definitely can keep going. And I think a lot of it will, especially the lower pop stuff. Stuff I'm looking at, and I've bought a little bit in the past, and I don't know if I'll buy out very many more singles. It's just not my bag. There's people who out there who probably are a lot more into it than me, and I'll let them let them buy it. Maybe you're one of those people, but I have bought a few kind of on speculation, and the 1985 Topps Roger Clemens is one, and then the 1993 Topps Derek Jeter Gold is another one that I bought. I think low pop stuff, I mean stuff in the like 300, 400, 500 pop range, I think those are going to be the ones over time are going to be the real winners, especially, oh man, I got excited there for a second. I thought maybe the Nolan Ryan, which I need to go back and pull that out. I thought the Nolan Ryan might have been no copyright. Yeah, I think the low pop stuff, it's just going to keep going up. I don't think there's a ceiling on it really. I mean, it's probably not going to go. I mean, we have had a very big run, but if baseball cards are anything like the stock market, you know, when things get into a true bull market, it almost always goes way farther than people think it will. So, I mean, like I said, I think that Bo Jackson goes to, you know, maybe 500, 600, 700 over the next 10 years or whatever, but maybe it goes to 1,000. Who knows? Maybe it goes to 5,000. I mean, it could just get crazy. Especially, I keep hearing people talk about big investors coming in and the idea of owning fractional shares. I think if the fractional share piece starts to take off, I mean, these low pop cards, again, stuff kind of 500 or less from the 80s and 90s, they could go to the moon. And the reason why is if these companies that are doing the fractional shares start buying them, it's great for them because what they'll do is they'll basically turn them into stocks. Oh man, that card is just beat to hell. They'll basically turn them into the shares into stocks, and then they'll take a percentage of every transaction, and then without actually selling the cards, they'll make money on every single transaction, and people will be happy to do it because they'll be able to buy a fractional share of Mark McGwire 85 Topps rookie that you know, they couldn't afford on their own. Maybe the Tiffany version, right? Maybe, I don't know what it's selling for now, what, 10 grand or something? I could be off pretty far. I haven't looked in a while. But, you know, maybe that thing gets up to 100 grand or 200 grand. You know, it's okay, so you're not going to have $200,000, but let's say a company that does the fractional share stuff, they have this thing, and it's they issue it with 100,000 shares, and the share is $2. Okay, well, you can get involved for $2, right? Or maybe $100. You buy 50 shares of it, right? And then if it goes to 400,000, then you can sell for double your money. You know, there's a couple. You know, there's going to be some challenges there with got to have liquidity, right? Because if you can buy them but you can't sell them, there's no point in buying them. Another Candy Maldonado. I wonder if it's the Julio Franco. Yeah, there you go. And Nolan Ryan. There we go. Another error with the 300 win. Looking for one now. I guess there's an error with no stripe on it. So I guess that's the. Haven't seen that one yet. Still keeping an eye out there. Yeah, but I think you know, these low pop things, man, they could go to the moon, and I think the fractional share thing is the way to do it, because if you take a card that's worth $50,000, you issue 1,000 shares, they're $50 a piece, or you issue, you know, 100,000 shares and they're worth 50 cents each. I mean, honestly, the way people's minds work, that's probably the better way to go. You issue shares at 50 cents, right? Because people have a unit bias. They're more willing to buy something at 50 cents than they are at $50. So you issue 50-cent shares. People feel like they're getting a lot when they put $100 in, get 200 shares. But the thing is, as those things trade and the prices go up on the actual cards, what's going to happen is, let's say on the platform, the value on the fractional share platform, the value of the card goes to, let's say a $50,000 card goes to $100,000, but you can buy it on eBay for $50,000. Those companies are going to be buying the cards off eBay and issuing more shares on their platform. And so that'll push eBay prices up, right? And it'll push the whole industry up. And I think that's going to be a big deal, you know. It's kind of unfortunate, you know, there's a lot of value in owning the card and having the physical copy, but in a way it helps a lot of people get into the industry, you know. I mean, especially for a lot of these old cards, you know, if you want a 52 Topps Mickey Mantle, I mean, even in low grade, it's out of reach for a lot of people, and that's unfortunate, right? But if you go to a fractional share system, you know, people can own a piece of that 52 Topps Mickey Mantle, or that 68 Topps Nolan Ryan, or that Upper Deck SP Derek Jeter or Alex Rodriguez. You know, there's, man, I feel like there's a lot of duplication in these. Yeah, so I mean, in a way, it can bring a lot of new excitement. I mean, I know there's a couple of sites out here that already do that. I've heard them mentioned here and there, and it's something that I even find interesting. I mean, how cool would it be to buy into a 52 Topps Mantle, you know, in whatever grade? Let's say it's a pretty decent grade, like an 8 or a 9, and you have some shares in it, and one sells on one of the big auction houses for double what it's selling for on the fractional share site. Well, that means probably the shares need to readjust higher, and you make a little bit of money, and you know, you can have your virtual card collection, and I think it'd be pretty awesome. I think there's a lot of value for a lot of people, and so many things are going digital nowadays. And I think that there's some technologies coming out now that are really going to help make the idea of fractional ownership of these cards a lot more viable. If you've kind of been paying attention to the crypto space, there's a thing called an NFT. I think that really has a lot of promise in this fractional ownership era that we're going to be seeing. The great thing there is it makes it so easy. Of course, the bad thing is it makes it so easy to do. But if somebody can take that existing technology and turn it into a platform where people can easily buy and sell cards, then it's a win for everybody. There's number 4 again. I don't know. Let's get that signature in there. How about that? Heck, even the no copyright errors haven't been all that exciting. Edgar Martinez. Mike Schmidt retires. Well, we're about halfway through the box. Kind of snuck up on me, honestly. I was having such a good time listening to myself talk. I better double check just to make sure there isn't another one in there. All right. I feel like we haven't hit that many. I mean, we've got the Larry Walker. We haven't seen Sammy Sosa or King Griffey Jr. So out of the regular set, we're missing some big names. Still haven't noticed the Mike Witt. almost feel like maybe this is kind of the end of the print run, and Upper Deck just printed a few more sheets, which is why they accidentally left off the copyright. Oh man, is that a Don Mattingly? That would be pretty cool. Oh, look at that. Don Mattingly, no copyright. And I don't know if it's a huge deal, but it's still pretty cool. Robin Ventura. So Don Mattingly, Aaron Witt, or Ernie Witt, for those who can read. So it looks like Don Mattingly's been the biggest pull on the no copyright so far. I don't think it sells for a whole lot. I think probably raw $5 maybe, but still that's pretty baller for this particular set to get a $5 card out of there. Bobby Witt. Alan Trammell. Oil Can Boyd. You know, one day I'm gonna do some research into how that guy got named that. Julio Machado. Whoops. All right. Yeah, so those archive signature retired. So I think I might buy a case of those and open them. It's one card per box, which is a little bit. I mean, that kind of it's good in the fact that the video will be short. Kind of sucks in the fact that it'll be super short. But we'll see how it works out. I mean, maybe over time that's kind of how the channel progresses. Where we open some new stuff and some old stuff, as long as the new stuff has retired players in it. You know, because it doesn't make sense for me to. The feel of these cards changed. Like there's a lot more glossy. That's weird. All right. Mike Flanagan. Come on, let's get something good here on the BJ Sherhoff. I guess that could have been good if he would have turned out good. I think he was one of the number 1 overall draft picks. Yeah, I could be wrong on that. Whoops. Did we get the same checklist twice in the same pack? Huh. It's one of our no copyright cards. There is a copyright on the bottom of it, though. Looks like it's one of the no copyright cards anyways. It's in that slot. See if there's another one in here somewhere. And it is. Huh. Wonder if there's any differences between them. Nothing jumps out at me. So that is interesting. If the copyright was missed on the regular cards, it doesn't look like it was missed on the checklist. Randy Johnson, oh man, almost got excited that it might have a Randy Johnson, but looks like not the case. Chris Sabo looks like the second one possibly. We'll go back and look at that. Yep. Willie Bachman, however you want to say it there, and Chris Sabo. So even though we have 72 chances here at these, it doesn't look like, apparently that's not enough to hit a Griffey, because this is, got to remember, this is the second box out of here. So the Griffey must be exceptionally rare. Oh, look at this. Is this the first one or the last one? I don't know. Oh, it's the cover. Well, at least it's something different, I guess. That's probably the one we'll get for the rest of the box here. Frank Viola, Bobby Witt. Gary Sheffield. So he's the guy I first noticed the error on. And Darryl Strawberry. Oh, that's cool. Very neat. Both of those are going to be error cards. Double check. Yep. All right. Gary Sheffield, Darryl Strawberry. So we've gotten a few decent ones. Got the Don Mattingly earlier. Pretty cool. Bo Jackson. Tommy Green. So it looks like, at least for the last few packs, it's been after the sticker the guys that we're looking for. Looks like that's the case here. Tom Browning. I feel like there's a disproportionate amount of reds. At least I've heard of Tom Browning. I haven't heard of this guy. Mackie Sasser. I'm sure somebody out there is a fan. There we go. Andre Dawson. Tim Raines. Whoops. Need another cup of espresso, I guess. Well, this is pretty exciting. The fact that we are getting these errors in this box, it means that there's a chance for a few more boxes with these types of errors. Bob Hamlin again. Kevin Moss. Haven't seen very many of him. Honestly, the only reason why I really know that dude is there was an auction on eBay for the longest time for like 500 Kevin Mosses for like $500 or something. I guess somebody just bought the heck out of them whenever it first came out or something. I don't know. But, wait, did we not get any out of this pack? Gonna have to go back and look. I would say there's Gary Sheffield with a copyright. Okay. Was there not any no copyrights on in this pack? Oh, no, there they are. Okay. Brian Holton and Ronaldo Roomies. I'll call it Roomies. All right. Getting down here towards the end, thankfully. Turns out this is a little bit more of a slog than I expected. I mean, here we are. This is only box 5 out of the case of 20. Man, if we wouldn't have had the error. Oh, look at that. Just a little early. King Griffey Jr. God, I love that card. Man, it just so ticks the nostalgia button. You know, this is the same slot, I think. This might have been the same slot as that checklist. I wonder what the odds are of there being another one in here in the no copyright slot. Oh, man. Gonna slow roll this one. Exciting. Well, Rick Honeycutt, it looks like. And Bob Deere are probably the ones. Jose Offerman, he was hot for a minute, I think. Still King Griffey Jr. sending tingles through the old system. Probably has a lot to do with caffeine, though. I wonder if I still got some here. Oh man, it looks like motor oil. Yeah, just a tad bit left in there. Ooh. Coffee drinking. You know, it's something. Whenever I was really young, my dad used to drink coffee, and it smelled so good. It smelled so good because to a kid, you know, it smells sweet a lot of times. And like, oh man, let me have a taste of it. Let me have a taste of it. And finally, he gave in. Let me have a taste of some coffee once, and it, because obviously it doesn't taste hardly anything like it smells, unless you've drank it enough to really be able to taste the subtle taste in it. I mean, let's be honest. It tastes kind of like dirt. And Tom Brookins and Daryl Evans. Man, I swear we're seeing guys in here that I don't remember ever seeing. I don't know. There we go. There's Andre Dawson. Make sure I'm right this time. Read it. Andre Dawson. There we go. All right. Man, oh man. You know, if we end up pulling the Griffey out of this case, heck, I might go see if I can put together a whole no copyright set. That would be cool. You know, and honestly, if PSA gets their prices back down and I can send them in for $20 a card, if I can build a whole set, it might be worth sending it into PSA. Just might be worth it. Come on, King Griffey Jr. I think before the next video, I'm going to go back and look at this list a little bit closer to see if the Larry Walker or Sammy Sosa or anybody's in it. I don't think they are, but I'm going to go double check. Because it could be some other cool cards that we're looking for. National League top vote getter is Will Clark. Or Steve Avery. Definitely watched him a lot as a kid. Well, for me anyways. When baseball was on, it was usually the Braves. Thank you, Ted Turner. All right. 3 packs left after this one. We are almost there. Man, if you hung in this long, Thank you very much. Pretty crazy that you would do that, but thank you nonetheless. Oh my God. Holy crap. King Griffey Jr. behind the sticker. This is it right here. I'll be back. I gotta go get something to put this in. Holy moly. My voice is changing. Going back to a 13-year-old here. Holy crap. This right here is probably the biggest King Griffey Jr. I've ever pulled out of a pack. A's. All right. So centering looks pretty good, which is great. Trying to look at it with so at least left to right it looks pretty good. Top to bottom, I don't know. Well, we have another one we can compare it to, at least. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh man. Holy crap. I don't know if that's a PSA 10 or not, but when prices on PSA go down, I'm going to send it in. I don't know. Maybe I'll try and send it to HGA. I kind of like their service. Like the idea of it anyways, but let's be honest, PSA is still the standard. Here, let's get a close-up on this bad boy. So that's a front. Obviously, it looks exactly like the other one. I don't know. Can you see? You can see that still pretty well in the camera. That's good. It's actually harder for me to see in real life than in the camera. Holy moly. I wonder if this has even been caught on camera before. This might be the only time this has ever been opened on camera. Tell you what, if you know of a place where it's been opened before, bonus points for you if you put it in the comments below. Holy moly. That is bonkers. If that comes back a PSA 10, it's paid for the case. Assuming I can send it in for $20, but I have a feeling PSA is not going to be able to hit their July number. I think probably what's going to happen is in July they'll release like the $100 level and then probably sit there for a very long time. I didn't even finish the pack. So holy moly. I can't believe that. In the raw it's like $50, I think. So it's not a huge deal, but I don't know, it looks really good to me. I'm not an expert on this stuff. The PSA stuff looks pretty damn good to me. If it doesn't come back a 9, I'd be surprised, but holy moly. The juices are going, that's for sure. Man, oh man. Well, I'll tell you what, if you stayed this late in the video, it was worth it. Holy bejesus. Oh man, I forgot to, here, let me fix that up. There we go. I'm totally screwing this all up. Here we go. Let's pull it. Let's pull all the stuff out of here. All right, well, let's, wow. That's an awesome card. I mean, and to think there's another 15 boxes in here. So we got a shot at getting a couple more even. I cannot believe that. That is so flippin' awesome. Mark McGuire. There we go. Pull him out. Again, so we got Ken Griffey Jr. We got Larry Walker. Haven't seen a Sammy Sosa yet. Tim Raines. And Willie Randolph. Looks like our two. Holy moly. Holy moly. I think I'm going to have to change the title on this one. 1 of 9. We've gotten a million of those too. Oh man, almost stuck that on the wrong pile. Wow. All right, last pack here. I mean, there's only one card that you can get out of this that's better. And honestly, if that Griffey's a PSA 10, it's only arguably better. And that's the Reggie Jackson, which, I don't know, I think probably we have a 0 chance of getting it, given the fact that it looks like this is kind of the end of the print run. And they, if I were to guess, they probably printed a bunch of the Reggie Jacksons, just a couple of sheets or something, which is why we're getting a bunch of duplication. Where's the... We didn't get a Darryl Strawberry. Looks like he's about in the right spot. But there's no... I didn't see a sticker. Didn't feel a sticker. Kelly Mann. Alright, well. Let's see here. It'll be interesting. Nope. There it is. Darryl Strawberry and Mike Felder. Wow. What can I say? You know, we came looking for the Reggie Jackson, and we got a card that might be even better. Who knows? Maybe even rarer. In fact, you know what? I'm going to look it up right now. I'm so excited about this. Let's look up some PSA real quick. All right, PSA website. Let's get over to the Pop Report. 1990 Upper Deck Baseball. Ken Griffey Jr. No copyright. This thing has been graded 80 times. There's 33 10s, 32 9s, 10 8s, 3 7s, 2 6s. So it looks like if I grade it, I mean, again, I'm not looks like a little bit of a tip on the corner there. So maybe this comes back a 9 or an 8. I don't know. We'll see. If I can put it in there for 20 bucks, I think I'll do it. But there's only 80 of these graded. I wonder what that is compared to the I think you got to switch over to the PSA DNA to get the Reggie Jackson. Huh. I'm not searching right. I'm not seeing the Reggie Jackson, but there we go, man. That is awesome. It's unfortunate for that corner because I don't know. I'd be surprised if it I don't know. Maybe that's not the corner itself. Maybe it's the sleeve. I don't know. Anyways, if PSA knocks their thing down to maybe even $50, I'll send it in. Because the pop on this thing is super low, and hey, we're 5 boxes in. We got a shot at 1 or 2 or more of these. So, man, stay tuned. We're gonna have some more coming. Like I said, the goal here is once a week. May not hit it 100% of the time, but we're gonna try. So, yeah, we'll see you next week. Super exciting video.